A AAA John Wick game with third-person controls? And Lionsgate is actually looking at proposals? Apparently, yes. We could all be playing a sweet gun fu game based on the epic franchise, and I cannot wait. But let's back up. What do we know so far? Lionsgate CEO is tight-lipped about the situation.
Typically, you wouldn't think of being able to aggregate a big enough audience to actually make the economics work. That was the challenge that actually made us want to take a shot at it. And we put together.
The executives at Lionsgate met up recently for an earnings call with their investors. You know, the usual boring corporate stuff. But during the meeting, the CEO, John Feltheimer, teased a huge possibility for the John Wick franchise. Now, everyone knows that a John Wick game with gorgeous graphics, tight controls, well-paced gunplay would sell millions of copies. And apparently, that's what Lionsgate is doing. John was obviously keeping things close to the chest, but he did reveal that a AAA John Wick game is on the table. He didn't make any promises about a potential release date or anything, but he did say that if they find the right proposal, they'll move forward with it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't there already a John Wick game on Steam? You can play John Wick Hex on Steam right now. Yeah, there is. It's called John Wick Hex, and it's made on the Unity engine. As of this video, you can get it at 80% off, which means just over $1.50. So I recommend that you check it out for yourself and let me know what you think of it. I personally enjoyed it. The visuals are great for the most part, and the action is designed like a chess game. You make the right moves, and Wick gets a gnarly kill. Not too shabby. I will say that the best thing about Hex is its color palette. It obviously borrows from the movies, but it has such a great aesthetic to it. It adds to the game's atmosphere and makes high-stakes situations feel more tense. But it's just not action-y enough, you know? And that's why a AAA action-adventure game is perfect for a franchise like John Wick. But while we're waiting on Lionsgate to update us on the game, how about I offer you some alternative? Let's say you're looking for a game about a guy who's lost his wife and daughter and is now out for blood. Well, that's where Max Payne comes in.
Money for banging waitresses in the Caribbean. This seemed like another easy game. Of course, that was about to change.
There are a few games that mirror John Wick's storyline, but Max Payne is one of the few that do. It's about an everyday detective who comes home one day to find his wife and daughter murdered by a bunch of drugged-up goons. He realizes that there's a larger conspiracy at hand and goes out to get revenge. It's literally one man versus an army of bad guys, and that's why we love it so much. And fun fact, it takes place in New York City, much of where the first John Wick took place. Now, the first game came out in 2001 and immediately won a bunch of awards. I know, it's over 20 years old, but who cares? It spawned a franchise of its own. While the first one had dated graphics and controls, its action sequences were ahead of its time, and it's one of the first games to introduce bullet time in its mechanics, something a lot of games were doing after The Matrix popularized it. And then came Max Payne 2 and my personal favorite, Max Payne 3.
Those who spend their lives trying to build a future, and those who spend their lives trying to rebuild the past.
They're all awesome games, but the third one takes the cake because it's more modern. It was developed by Rockstar and changed the franchise's formula in a good way. The action was tighter, the story was darker, and the protagonist was losing his sanity. It was just perfect, in my opinion. But if a hard-boiled New York City cop gunning for revenge isn't your thing, then a stealth action adventure like Metal Gear Solid might just be the thing. Hideo Kojima. If I ever meet him, I want to give him a big ol' hug. He created video games that I've played throughout my childhood. Some of his best include Metal Gear 2, Death Stranding, and of course Metal Gear Solid 5. If you want a stealth-based action adventure where you can do literally anything you want, you need to check out Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I haven't played a game that gives you that much player freedom. You want to attach a beacon on a random dude and send him flying to a helicopter? Do it. You want to explode a bunker so you can create a diversion to get to your actual goal? Do it. You want to ride a jeep around the field and kill everyone? Do it. Kojima created something beautiful here, and I think it's going to be hard for anyone to replicate it. Now, I do agree with the critics that the latter half of the game feels unfinished. It needs more polish, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is the best MGS game I've ever played. The story, the graphics, the voice acting, and Kiefer Sutherland as Venom Snake. It's just perfect.
Well, that's up to you.
Enemy presence detected. Analysis complete.
Eliminate him, however you see fit.
Oh, and speaking of player freedom, why not try Hitman?
Have fun.
Oh, don't worry about that. My art speaks for itself.
Well, I have to go. I'll call you when I get back to New York.
If there's any game that can give you the feeling of being a world-class assassin who wears expensive suits and goes on globe-trotting adventures, then it is Hitman. Particularly, I'd recommend the latest Hitman trilogy available on Steam for all your preferred platforms. The older Hitman games have not aged as well, and their mechanics need a bit of polishing. That's why the modern Hitman games take the charge. They capture everything that's good about the franchise and dial it up to 11. Just like the Phantom Pain, you can do literally anything you want. In Hitman, the world is your canvas, and you're the artist. Plus, it's as close to a John Wick prequel as you'll get, except John's a bald, genetically engineered human with a poker face 24/7. But you get to travel around the world, complete assassination contracts, and get to exercise your creative muscles. And let's keep going with stealth for a bit, because a John Wick game would definitely feature some stealth element. Even if you want to go guns akimbo, why not check out Dishonored? This one's a bit mystical, so it involves a lot of fantasy. The visuals, on the other hand, are on another level. You've probably never seen art style like this one before, and if you have, you gotta let me know where. Anyway, just like Hitman, both Dishonored games reward the use of stealth. There's a ton of variety on how to complete an objective, and I've heard that you can complete both games without killing a single person. That's what I love about player freedom. You get to do seemingly impossible things. But on the other hand, this series diverges from reality a bit because of the magical elements involved. You can teleport short distances and control rats to kill targets if you want to. It's pretty awesome though, so I'd definitely check it out if I were you. But if you want something a little like the Phantom Pain or Hitman and nothing else has satisfied you yet, then maybe you'd like Splinter Cell Blacklist. It's the final entry in the series, and as a result, it's the best one out of them all. It's one of the most polished and effective stealth games you could play, and I swear Sam Fisher could give Baba Yaga a run for his money. Plus, for a game that was released back in 2013, its visuals still hold up thanks to an update from Ubisoft. But other than that, the game offers excellent replay value thanks to player freedom, giving you every tool you need to do whatever you want to get the job done. I think you'd really like it if you like John Wick and other similar genres that involve stealth and action. So check these out while you're waiting on a John Wick game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.